Kyle Van Noy back in Baltimore. The pass rush room, it's getting a little bit deeper, but honestly, it's a great fit for him coming back, Zach.
Yeah, I think if you really are a fan of the Ravens and you have followed this team closely, especially over the past year, you understand the magnitude of this signing. Love it. 2-year deal. Was not honestly expecting Kyle Van Noy to get a 2-year deal. 2-year deal, $9 million, and then there's some incentives to get him a little bit more. I think it's $1 million each year in incentives, but the perfect fit. Came in last year mid-season, so didn't even get a full training camp, OTA, all the offseason stuff with the team, and immediately made an impact. I can I can fully say I feel more confident in the pass rush situation the Ravens have now than I did 3 hours ago, now that Kyle Van Noy is back.
Yeah.
Matt obviously was re-signed, and then you got KVN. So, like, it's just – I'm super pumped for it as well. It would have been nice to keep Clowney after he had like what I would consider a career year with the Ravens, but it is what it is. But yeah, man, having Kyle Van Noy back is awesome. I'm pumped for that.
Yeah, and you know what? And Rocco, after this, because Kyle Van Noy released a video today, and again, the news initially broke on the Pat McAfee show, which is electric. It's great. You can see that relationship has built between the two of them. But Kyle Van Noy released a video, and then Rock, I want you on the other side of it because you had a chance to be around there and seen in the locker room with the Ravens. So let's play the video that Kyle Van Noy posted, and then Rock, the floor is yours after.
Who we gonna be on Sunday night? I know who I want to be. I know what this group's gonna be. I want to pull them to the deep end, see if they can swim.
I might take off with the peons and go way to Venus. I'm a star, so I put a neutron in my skin. I'm moonwalking with my crystal with the plays. I'm smoking more rock, shorty, and I feel the same. I might take off with the peons and go way to Venus. I'm a star, so I put
Kyle Van Noy has his second one today.
To be around a group of men like this, the way they've worked all season, the way that we've bonded together as friends, doesn't happen everywhere, and just grateful to be around a great group of guys like we have.
And that is Kodak on the track. And also, by the way, I mean, that just gets you fired up. It gets it bumping. But you know what I loved in this, Rocco? And the floor is yours with this. Kyle Van Noy felt like when he came in, it was, okay, good fit. And then we found out he is a perfect Baltimore Raven, and clearly he's excited about coming back.
Yeah, a lot of people loved him here, and people, it seemed like his teammates, social media-wise, in the locker room, on the field, they gravitated towards this guy because he's like that guy you want to be around because of his personality, but not only because of that, because of his play on the field, he lets that do the talking. Zach talked about they got him late. He was sitting on his couch 3 weeks into the season, and week 4, the Ravens were like, hey, Kyle, come on. You still got some football left in the tank. You might be 32 years old at the time, but come play for us, see what you're capable of. 14 games, what does he do? He sets a career high with 9 sacks. I was talking to Kevin Oyster Striker, whatever we call him anyway, Locked on Ravens, and we were saying that if you're going to bring back somebody, you want to bring back – for the pass rush, you want to get at least one of these guys between Clowney and Kyle Van Noy. Clowney, he played himself into a pretty significant contract. He's gone. That didn't happen. Getting Van Noy, I wouldn't even call it a consolation prize because that would be a disservice to what he brought to Baltimore this season. His play, it does the talking. He's a great fit. The Ravens, he just turned 33, so they'll have him till he's 35 years old, but he still does have gas left in the tank. And he's a guy that Baltimore fans, they just grew to love in one season here. So it's pretty significant to have him back, especially when you look at the youth of the pass rush, Odafe Owe, David Ajabo, and Tavius Robinson. So adding a veteran, keeping that veteran leadership there, it's key, I think, for the Ravens' success this season.
No doubt about it. And again, every team, when you look at how teams are constructed, you want players that can make impacts on the field, and you want guys that can make impacts in the locker room. And Kyle Van Noy checks both of those boxes. And I'm sure, guys, it's not the only move the Ravens are going to make in the pass rush department. Obviously, we know they signed back Justin Madubuike. Brad, you mentioned that. That's a big-time extension that they had. And then you're looking at guys that maybe are trying to make another step, and guys that haven't gotten off to the starts that they want because of injuries. Like I saw a comment saying about David Ojabo, right? That now in this case, some of these other guys, it takes a little bit of pressure off of those guys. And Kyle Van Noy, hopefully, Zach, can continue to give that leadership quality to help them continue to grow. Because I'm not giving up on any of these young guys either.
No, I think you hit the nail on the head there. It is just another veteran addition. Everything on the field they obviously love about Kyle Van Noy, but I think they love off the field Kyle Van Noy even more. And that's a big compliment to him because he does everything the right way, the way he prepares, the way he helps the younger guys in the locker room. He is a true veteran that I think they trust with guys like Owe, Ojabo. We named a few, even guys like Malik Harrison. So in so many ways and aspects, Kyle Van Noy makes me feel better about this Ravens defense because that veteran leadership, they are moving from Mike McDonald to Zach Orr. Actually, I believe Kyle Van Noy is older than Zach Orr. Am I?
Yeah.
Yeah. So talk about veteran leadership. I think that's a guy that Zach Orr really wanted back because of the impact he made last year and just stepping into another leadership role where he can take guys under his wing. And even if he's not playing at this insane level, he helps the team in so many different ways.
And again, Baltimore's always taken pride in winning cultures and in developing a culture that is a winning standard. Kyle Van Noy came from the Patriots. I think they had a lot of success over there. And then also, if you're going to look at it now, Baltimore's had a lot of success, and it just feels like the right fit. And also, if you listen to Kyle Van Noy, Brad, talk on Pat McAfee and just shoot the shit and talk about life, football, he just seems like a guy too. You're pulling for it. You're going, yeah, I want this guy on my team because of everything he brings. I guess some will use the word the intangibles. Is that the right word? Did I say it right?
Yeah.
Boom, baby.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, and I think also yes, Kyle Van Noy has quite the history in New England, but he definitely has that mentality, that attitude of play like a Raven. He knows what it means to play like a Raven. So it almost, even though he's only been with us for a partial year, and then now we'll have him for the next two, just kind of feels like he was always meant to be here and that he always has been. And we talked about that a little bit with Derrick Henry too. So, here we go again. It's just Eric DeCosta making sure he's putting the right guys in place that knows the culture and knows how to continue to cultivate that and build from where we were last year. I mean, hopefully that means that we're going to get, we're going to go to another Super Bowl and, very, very slowly, and we'll see what happens after the draft. But it just seems like those pieces are coming together. And, Eric DeCosta just does this. He did this last year. Everybody's losing their mind. Why hasn't Eric signed this guy? Why hasn't he signed that guy? And then all of a sudden, boom, out of nowhere, when you least expect it, sign somebody that you're like, okay, this makes total sense. And so I think this is just another rendering of that this year, where you have Kyle Van Noy. I think a lot of people are going to be happy about that. We have Derrick Henry, and then I think the other areas that really need to be addressed is on that corner side of things. So I'm really anxious to see what that how that shapes up during the draft and even after the draft, and some free agents that might come about.
And Brad, you talk about Super Bowl potentially going on a postseason, a playoff run. This is a guy that's got 2 Super Bowl rings. He's been there, done that. And that leadership right there, it's hard to come by in the National Football League. So to have a guy like that who's a veteran presence, and it was funny, you bring up the point of Eric DeCosta. It's like, boom, he strikes when you're not expecting him to. Kevin and I were going over what we're going to talk about tonight on Locked On Ravens, and it was like, oh, Sam Mustipher, he just signed with another team. Oh, the Ravens, like maybe the Stephon Diggs thing. It wasn't very, it's going to be Ravens related, but not so much. And then boom, Kyle Van Noy signs, and it's like, that's your lead. That's the breaking news. So really, when you least expect it, this stuff happens. And I know Ravens fans are happy to have Kyle Van Noy back for the next 2 seasons, especially.
And every time you want to get pissed, you want to get angry, make more moves, take a deep breath, check your phone maybe in a day or two, and then just give a round of applause for Eric DeCosta, because he always comes through for the team. And I think that people look at that, it's like, it's not easy to construct a roster. It's just not at all. And Locked On Ravens, Kevin Otomatopia, people expected one of KVN and Clowney back, and KVN is back at $4.5 million per year. Clowney is going to 10 to 12 million per year. Again, that's the reality of it. If you're going to say, well, they both were productive players, which one, if you had to keep one, give me the guy that's going to be cheaper that can be just as effective. Of course, Clowney had his overall, it felt like his best year. He looked good. But Kyle Van Noy definitely helped the team in more ways than the stat sheet will suggest. So it's exciting. We're pumped up. We're far from over. And you're right, Brad. The Orioles, gosh, the birds everywhere. The Ravens, obviously the offensive line is going to need some help. The corners, they're always looking for corners because we've seen how fragile the season can be with injuries. So it should be fun.